dirt road off a 2-lane past a shot-up county sign. Squeaking of a backyard screen door letting you know that it's
The Putnam Personalities podcast exists to highlight the good, the positive, and the inspirational in our community. This episode is not an endorsement of any political or religious ideology. This podcast is a simple interview to get to know our friends, neighbors, leaders, and colleagues on a more personal level. Sit back, grab some sweet tea, and enjoy today's interview.
Sounds like home to me.
Usually we're in this room, it's Friday night. It stinks because there's 60 kids in here, sweaty, aggravation. Well, only if they're losing, but no, there's always aggravation somehow. Someone's mad at somebody, but no, there's a lot of excitement that goes on in this room normally. But we are in the Interlochen Rams weightlifting room, and this is where the team comes on usually Friday night or whatever night they're playing during halftime. They hang out in here, and the coaches kind of go over some plays and stuff. So Anyway, you're Coach Gibson.
Yes, I am.
And I'm Jason. I've known you for the last, I guess this is your third season coaching, or is it fourth?
This will be my fourth season as the head coach, but I was here prior to as an assistant coach. So technically it's my fifth year here.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
That's weird. I didn't know that. So I've been the chaplain of the team. I guess that's a title, but I've been helping across the street where we feed the football team at a different church. I've been doing that for, I guess this will be my 11th or 12th year. I got to look back and see, but I've had a lot of football players come through, and I'll be honest, it's hard to remember all their names.
Yeah.
I only get to see them once a week for like a few minutes, but this year I'm going to get intentional with that. I have got to learn names. And then when you're out in the ball field, when they got the jerseys on, that's the other problem. They take their helmet off, and I'm trying to think, okay, I fed them spaghetti a few minutes ago, but what is their name? But anyway, I love working with the football team. A lot of good kids, a lot of good young men, and we've actually seen a few lately go off and play some bigger stuff too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So tell me about a couple of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think, my purpose as a coach is to try to give these kids an opportunity to advance wherever they want to, whether it's education, athletics. I'm a big proponent for making sure their grades are good, making sure they're being successful off the field, on the field. So any little bit I can help, I try to do that. We had some kids back in 2022. This was our year that we went undefeated. We won the SSAC state championship, and it brought a lot of, I guess, notoriety. But it put Interlochen on the map as far as college coaches coming in. Sometimes before my first year when I got here, they would stop by there, but they were just stopping by to waste 10, 15 minutes. But now we get coaches that come in and stay for 30, 35 minutes talking about the guys. So it's been a good thing for the program. It's been a good thing for the future athletes. So whatever I can do to help is what I want to do. So, we've had some guys. We had some guys go Division I. We had Reginald Allen go to Western Kentucky. Justin Herring went to Wilmington in Ohio. Dante Aston went to Wilmington in Ohio. We had two other kids go to a school in Wisconsin. So, the opportunities are there. I think my biggest thing is just trying to bring those opportunities to those kids and, and let them know that they do have opportunities.
Right. Interlocking seems like, and I don't know if, hopefully I'm not wrong in saying this, but it seems like, from what I've heard from other people as well, seems like Interlocking sometimes gets the short end of the stick when it comes to the count, or not just, but the west side always gets the short end of the stick. But since I've been here, we've seen a lot of kids go off and do some very good things. I mean, I've had a chance to interview Reva Godbolt, which is one of our students in the past, but other students as well. So I appreciate you just coming in here and investing in our kids. And one of my daughters is a graduate, 18 graduate from here. So yeah, I am so thankful for our community and those that invest in our young people. I'm not interviewing a cheerleading coach right now, obviously, because I can't imagine you doing flips and everything. But I was talking to one of our ladies this morning, young ladies. She works at a little store locally, and her and one of her counterparts is one of her cheerleading buddies. They're getting ready to go to Hawaii. And so I'm going to help them. I told her, I said, we get 100 people to give $30. We can make this thing. She needs $3,000 more. So I'm going to try through our podcast to see if we can raise some of that money to help them go. So then when they get back, we'll do the interview and say, hey, how'd it go? So, but anyway, so a lot of neat things. So Coach Gibson, you've been with us for a few years here in Interlocking, but who was Coach Gibson before Interlocking? Where'd you come from? Where you tell us about your history and where you're from and everything.
Well, I graduated from Middleburg High School back in '95, and then I had an opportunity to take a scholarship to Valdosta State. My head coach there was Hal Mummy. Mike Leach was there, Dana Holgerson. So I had some pretty big name coaches now. You didn't know about them back then, but now you do. After college, I had some opportunities in the NFL and the Canadian Football League, and then I ended up playing arena football for 8 years. So,
really?
I've done that. I've also coached at college level. I've coached with the Jacksonville Sharks, the arena football team. So I'm pretty diverse when it comes to that. I've been an athletic director at Bradford High School prior to here. So I've kind of been around and done a lot of different things. Stayed here locally. I coached at Union County, Middleburg High School. But, when I came to Interlocking, I'm trying to bring all that stuff that I learned from everywhere I've been to try to make this a better situation for all the kids.
Right. Okay, so arena football just really just sparked my interest.
Yep.
So as a teenager in high school, we used to go to Tampa Bay Storm games all the time. What team are you allowed to say what team you played for?
Yeah. I mean, I played for a couple of them. The Jacksonville Tomcats before the Jacksonville Sharks got here, Tallahassee Thunder in Tallahassee, the Memphis Explorers.
Oh, cool.
And then I played for the Toronto Phantoms in Canada when they had the AFL back in the day.
So back in the day, the Storm, a lot of them wore the Zubaz.
The Zubaz.
Yeah, they wore those. And then I think it was Jay Gruden was part of our team. But man, yeah, I have I kept all my ticket stubs. We used to go religiously, man. Yep. Holy cow, I didn't know.
Yeah, they're fun games. I mean, I enjoy it. I played receiver in college. So the biggest thing with the Arena Football League that I enjoyed was, at the time, they had the Ironman rules. So you had to play receiver, and if you weren't there's only two guys that didn't play defense, and that was a quarterback and an offensive specialist. And all he did was play offense. And then you had two guys on defense that only played defense. So a lot of times, if you were the bigger wide receiver, you're playing linebacker as well, or if you're the faster wide receiver, you're playing DB as well. So it was fun. It was fun. It was, a chance to play both ways, offense and defense. So there was a lot of strategy into it. The times have changed a little bit. They've gone away from the Ironman stuff, so the rosters are bigger. But I mean, you had a limited resource as far as you only had 18 active guys. One of them was a kicker. So you're 17 guys or 18 guys that you have to go. It was fun though.
Yeah, it was high energy.
Absolutely.
I guess they used to call it rock and roll football because it was like loud music. It was constant pace going and crazy halftime shows.
Yeah, and the thing about arena football that I really like is it's really fan friendly. So I mean, there'd be some games if I'm the opposing guy, the fans are sitting there chatting in my ear the whole time, talking to me. Or if you're at home, Jacksonville was one of the best markets to play in because our fans were just brutal to the other teams. So it was kind of fun to see that.
Now, do you want us to bring that here to Interlocking?
Absolutely.
Be brutal against. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if we're pushing for that, but anyway, is that why we have metal detectors now? But no, I'm just kidding. But no, that's cool. That's cool. So, so you were born in Jacksonville, you said? I'm sorry,
I was born in Arkansas.
Okay.
My dad was in the military, so we traveled, and he ended up in Jacksonville, and then we moved out to Middleburg. So I went to school.
So was he Navy?
Yeah, he was Navy.
Okay, very good. So, did you travel the world at all through the Navy, or?
No, I mean, he was basically stationed in the United States, Mississippi, and then we came to Florida. I did travel a lot with football, so
Oh, okay.
that kind of opened my eyes a little bit. I love to travel. Anytime I can get a
Oh,
chance,
yeah.
I like to. So, but no, he military family. My dad was, he was real strict. Not real strict, but he was military. I mean, everything had a deadline. And got, there was some kind of, structure for everything.
Mm-hmm.
So.
So, but living in Mississippi, that's like a third world too, though. So,
Yeah.
And, I'm just kidding.
Meridian, that's where
Yeah.
we were. I remember.
With all that being said, I was talking to you just briefly, didn't really talk a whole lot before this, but we trying to find out where to set up at. But coaching and being a pastor, totally two different things, obviously, but there's a lot of similarities.
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest similarities, and there's a bunch, but one of the biggest ones I think is your investment in people. And I'm always investing in people, doing about. And sometimes you think of investment, you always think about money,
Mm-hmm.
but your time and your talents and your treasure, all three of those things are investments. And so, even off the field, you're investing as well, not just in a classroom, but sometimes even off the field, different things in the community. So, the hardest thing for me is before I became a pastor was being a youth director and seeing a lot of kids I invested in, and a lot of them kind of just take that investment, and I don't think they realize the value of that sometimes. Like even I try to remind the football team that even when we feed them across the street every week, all those people, they're volunteers. In fact, I just before I came was at ViStar and ran into two people that used to always be out there, and they have in the last year and a half they can't come because one lady's walking the walker now, and the man has got kidney failure and all that. So it's kind of sad to see that, but all those people are investing.
Mm-hmm.
People, the Rotary, they invest. Parents, they're investing in these
Mm-hmm.
kids. And a lot of times it's hard when people that you invest in don't realize that investment. How do you deal with stuff like that personally?
I mean, personally, I'm always, as far as investing in the kids, I don't think a lot of people realize how invested coaches, pastors, people that are at the schools, faculty, staff. I mean, we're with kids from 7:30 in the morning, sometimes at 7, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, just because of sports and stuff like that. So we see the kids a lot. And, once you get to learn the kids and you learn their home life, sometimes you're really upset about their home life. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe this kid still comes to school and still tries to give effort based on his home situation.
Right.
But I think as far as being invested in the kids, I love to see kids be successful. I think that's what my place is, to try to make kids be successful, or at least give them opportunities. Now, you're not gonna help everybody, and I think that's the biggest part about investing in some of the kids. Some of the kids, you invest so much time, so much effort, they get opportunities and they just squander them. And like you said, I think a lot of times they don't realize how much that investment is. I'm always for kids doing their best and what they think is best for them. So, sometimes it's as bad as it hurts to see kids leave or go somewhere else or what have you, or, it's part of it. And I think,
Right.
you just have to find a way to, think to yourself, I guess that's the best situation for the family and the kids. So,
Yeah, I constantly remind myself that I'm doing it for the young person anyway. It's not for me.
mm-hmm.
So if they go somewhere else and they're successful, that's fine. That's good because it's about them anyway.
Right.
But I think a lot of just investing is planting seeds sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I know sometimes I go to a house that we grew up in and I'll see stuff that looks different and they'll tell me that tree was there for a long time. I'm like, and I realized we planted the seed for that tree and we left, we forgot about it.
Right.
You come back years later and there's this huge tree in the yard, And so a lot of times we just plant the seed. And as a man of faith, I just say, let God, God will allow it to grow the way he wants it to grow. But yeah, I do want to remind the kids that though, that one thing I always tell the kids Friday nights is, hey, when you go out there in the field, you've probably heard me say this many times, but you're representing multifaceted representation. You're representing not only the team on your jersey, but you're representing your community.
Mm-hmm.
You're carrying your name, so you're representing your family. And for the Christian kids out there, say you're representing your Savior too.
Mm-hmm.
So I always try to get them to remember that. And that's always a good thing to remember, that we are not just, sports is not just about self, it's about community. It's about those that have invested in you. I love to see when kids get up and they vocalize that, like they vocalize, hey, I want to thank so and so and thank
Mm-hmm.
so and so. have you had any young people that you've coached that this is, I guess it's a hard question to ask because I know there's a bunch, but are anybody that you've coached that you've invested in that really sticks out to you that was really just, you feel like they've just really been appreciative or really just been.
I mean, I've coached quite a few kids, and I've had a lot of kids reach out back to me when they turn 21, 22, and they just say, thank you for investing in me. You're one of the coaches that truly cared. So that makes me feel good. I mean, that makes my job a lot more fun, a lot more meaningful. But there's some kids that I had when I was coaching in college. I got some kids some college scholarships, and they were like, without you, I never would have gotten one. So.
Cool.
So I've had a lot of kids reach out and say how much they appreciate me, and that's good.
That's cool. I interviewed a teacher recently. I don't think she said it online. I think she said privately later, but she said one day she was sitting at home and she got a phone call and she answered. She's like, "Hello," and the lady, the boy on the other end said, "Is this so and so?" She said, "I'm just letting you know, my name is about 5 names away. I'm getting ready to walk across the stage, and if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be getting this diploma tonight." So it's always, those things are always, I want to tell the kids it's okay to say thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to reach out, and I've done that many times. Find my youth pastor when I was a kid and just calls, "Hey, just want to thank you." He didn't know where I was, what I was doing, and I'm not anything special, but just want to say thank you. I'm still alive at least.
Yeah. And I think that goes back to, I had a lot of coaches when I was growing up that were always like, "Hey, listen, my door's always open. My number's not going to change. If you ever need anything, call me." And I'm kind of the same way. I tell kids my door's always open. I'm not going to be one hiding behind the door. Right. So if you ever need me, I'm a phone call, text message away. So I try to keep my doors open for the kids because you never know when somebody might need you and they feel comfortable enough to text you or whatever. So
right, yeah, coaching is not okay. You're a senior, you're leaving. My job is done.
Right.
Like you said, I've kept the same phone number for a very long time for that reason. And randomly, sometimes I'll have somebody call just to ask a question. In fact, a young girl the other day was a young girl. Now she's getting ready to get married. Called, asked if I could do her wedding, and I didn't know who it was. Somehow she stole my number, and I was like, "Oh!" And I had to remember who she was. So, but yeah, that's pretty cool. So next Friday night, and this will actually air Friday, the 16th, which is I think it's the 16th. That'll be our first game night.
Yep.
And we're playing
Christchurch in Jacksonville, Mandarin area.
Okay. And so, how does our team look this year? What do you think?
I think our team has a good chance to be pretty good. I mean, obviously, with Interlochen being small numbers wise, we're low on numbers. Our depth is always going to be an issue. But I think we got a chance to be pretty good this year. Our offensive line looks really good. Our receivers look real good. Quarterback looks good. Defense has been flying around in practice. So, I got high hopes for our team. And I think there's high expectations this year. Last year was kind of a down year for us, but it happens. It's cycles like that. So, and especially here at Interlochen, some years you're going to be really good and some years you're going to struggle. But, I think with us this will be my 4th year. So this is the 4th year that we're going to have our 7th and 8th grade team. And a lot of those guys are up now.
Good.
So it's helping build the program. And I think that was a big thing through our county. When I got here, we didn't have junior high athletics, football and stuff like that. So now that we have football, it's starting to be a lot better.
Right. And it is a yearly thing. Like you build upon them every year.
Mm-hmm.
And I say not just instilling character but it's also, weight training.
Mm-hmm.
I guess when you first came, there's a lot of scrawny guys, but after 4 years, they've been in the program, they've been bulking up, hopefully eating right, doing things they're supposed to be doing. And then by the time they're getting to the senior, you see that progression.
Absolutely.
So that's good. What's stronger this year, our offense or defense? What do you think's better?
Well, I hope our offense is stronger this year. And the only reason I say is that because I think our experience on the offensive side of the ball, we have a lot more guys that played a lot more last year on offense. Like I said, our offensive line is probably going to be the best offensive line we've had since I've been here. We average probably about 6'2", 6'3", height-wise, and then probably about 265, 270 across the board. So we got some big kids. Like you said, our weight room, Coach Jordan does a great job with the weights. We're trying to, to get more kids to buy in to getting stronger faster. They hear it all the time. But I think we got a good group of guys that believe in it and that are committed to it. So I think, once everybody gets committed to it, it'll be, a lot better. But I think for right now, I think it's going about how we should expect.
Okay. And besides football, you coach other sports too. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, you coach the girls' flag football, right?
I coach girls' flag football. I coach girls' soccer, and I'm a girls' track coach too. So,
what was the last one?
Track coach.
Oh, track coach. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, just a quick question on the girls' football. Was that our first season last year?
It was our second season.
Okay.
That was our second season last year, and it's still relatively new here. Palacios had one for a while. Crescent City's had one for a while. And it's new here. So I think the biggest thing is trying to just get the word out that we have that opportunity. Girls sports in general, I think now, a lot more girls are doing a lot more things. And like I said, with the numbers being low as far as athletes go here, you got to share them with a lot of sports. So, girls come straight from volleyball to girls weightlifting to girls, flag football, softball, track. So it's hard to try to manage it because, we only have so many girl athletes, but there's opportunities.
Right. Are there any sports that we don't have that maybe the school plans on adding in the future?
It's funny. I keep messing with Coach Wires. I said, we need to add bowling.
Bowling. There we go.
Bowling and golf. But, just some sports that I think other kids can get involved in. A lot of people don't like being outside. A lot of people don't like running. A lot of people don't love, bowling. I've always been a big bowler. I love bowling, but, just sports like that to try to get everybody interested. And I know we have the video games and stuff now that everybody plays the esports and stuff like that. So that's, other ways to get kids scholarships. And I don't think a lot of kids realize the scholarship money that's out there for, like, girls flag football is huge now. I have a buddy of mine that played college football. He's now the head coach of a girls flag football team. And now he's like, hey, listen, if you got any girls that want to come to school for free, you let me know. So, there's opportunities, and that's just trying to get the knowledge out there for the girls and the guys to both see there's different opportunities to get to college if that's what you want to do. So
I was in the front office a couple of days ago, and there's a young man there, and I was like, hey, I said, are you going to be on the football team? He goes, no, he says, I'm coming back. I'm coming from Palacios. He says, I'm going to be on the wrestling team. I'm like, oh. And then somebody else says, one of the football players, we don't have a wrestling team. He said, what? His mama said, what? And I said, I don't think we have a wrestling team. Yeah. They're both like, so I didn't know we didn't have one until a couple of days ago. But I don't think he registered for our school. I'm not sure. But anyway, well, that's interesting. So in closing, I always let, if they want to, whoever I'm interviewing, ask me anything, just if they had an oddball question. So anything you want to ask me?
No, I don't have any oddball questions. Okay. I'm pretty good. So.
Okay. The one that everybody always asks a lot of times is, so what brings, how'd you come to Hollister? And every time I'm like, well, if you listen to episode 1, 5, 7, 12, or 13, 16 or 18, you'll get that answer. Yeah. So go watch one of the past ones, because everybody asks me that same question, because I'm a nobody. And I always tell people, I'm like, I went to Walmart this morning and still haven't had anybody ask me for my autograph yet. So I'm just really nobody, but I just enjoy doing this as a hobby. But anyway. Well, Coach, I appreciate you.
Yes,
You're doing a great job.
Thank you for having me.
Looking forward to working with you again this season. And hopefully we'll have a great year.
Absolutely.
All right. God bless, my friend.
Hey, come here, let's go. Take it in for the last time, baby. Hey, listen. I'm so proud of y'all. Guys, this is what we've been working all spring, all summer for. All right, look at that scoreboard. 16-0. That's the donut, and that's win number 10 for us. And we're the champions! Champs on me, champs on three. 1, 2, 3.